jungle. Who wants the smoke? I didn't think so. Use a joke, about to get your ankles broke. Chasing C notes. Chasing C notes. Welcome to the jungle. Who wants the smoke? I ain't think so. Use a joke, about to get your ankles broke. Chasing C notes.
Welcome to episode number 29. This is Chasing C Notes, a podcast. I'm your co-host Eric, and I'm always joined by my co-host Larry. What's good, Larry?
Going on, let's go.
Let's go. We're doing this on a Sunday morning. It is November 30th, the last day of the month. How are you feeling, Larry, about the Celtics team? Are they just about what you expected, or are they rising above? Where are you on this?
I was hoping they would win that game against Minnesota. That would have, gave them a nice little record there. Right now they stand at, I think, 10-9. We expected them to be a 500 team. They're pretty much there. I'm concerned with what's going on in December. And I guess we can talk about that a little bit more. But it's been an up and down season. The season, who we see in the power rankings is not who we expected. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what's going on in the NBA. I think the NBA Cup is going to answer some questions as well.
Yeah, I agree. I agree some because I think that the NBA Cup, it's not a good barometer, but people are trying, and that's all we care about, right? At least the players are trying to win something. So what's on the docket for this episode? We're going to have some NBA news. We're going to have our power rankings. We're going to have our predictions for the month of December. And then we're going to end the show with our stuck up, stuck down for this NBA season so far. So Larry, let's get started with the news, the NBA news, and let's get some injuries out of the way. Number one is to Curry with the quad injury. It's not long term, but when looking at the standings, they're right now in 8th place. Is it gonna hurt them? Will missing Curry make them lose some games?
Yeah, this is gonna hurt them. I'm disappointed with Golden State, Chicago, and Milwaukee. I mean, the Celtics are beating all three of those teams record-wise. I just think that they should be higher up right now. They're losing key games, losing too many games. And with Steph Curry, they're just starting to get a rhythm going. He's going to be out maybe 2 weeks. Obviously, they're going to take their time with him, even though it's not a serious injury. I think it's going to affect Golden State. You really can't afford to drop games right now.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say that I agree with you, Larry. I think that you can't afford to drop games right now, but this whole playing game has given some teams a little bit of leeway. I feel like they take the regular season serious because of the NBA Cup, but they also don't because they know that they can play their way into a playoff spot. I don't know how I feel. It's almost like counterproductive. Got the NBA Cup, which makes teams kind of hustle, and then you have this playing games. I don't know how I feel about them. I just don't. Now, the other news I want to talk about is RJ Barrett is going to be out for Toronto. Again, not long term, but they're in second place right now. Do you think that this will hurt them? Because I'm looking at their stats right now, and RJ Barrett is not the best player, to be honest with you.
No. I'm very surprised at how Toronto has put some things together, and I think that RJ Barrett, as long as it's not long term, it should be okay. I don't think it's going to affect them as much. But yeah, I'm really surprised of how Toronto's putting it together. You'll see that when you see the power rankings. But yeah, like I said, I think both Curry and Barrett, they're not serious injuries, but I just think the timing is a little bit off. Teams are trying to gel, trying to build, and December wins are going to be very important. So hopefully these teams can step up. Some players can next man up mentality can step up and do what they got to do.
Yeah, I agree. I think second place, they're definitely overreaching, or more. They're doing better than we thought they were. And I don't mean to sound like the NFL coach, but they are who we thought they were, and they're like exceeding that. The other news, Larry, Rick Fox in our lives again. He's running for politics in the Bahamas. Is he that popular? I know he's from there, but I didn't know he was that popular. What's your feeling? Like, does he have a chance? I don't know the Bahamas politic landscape per se, but how do you feel about this? Because he was in our lives when we were Celtics fans way back in the day. So how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, he used to come through Natick all the time, and I think Rick Fox he's just all over the place. He went from basketball player, loved the Celtics, then loved the Lakers, and then acting, and then Hollywood, and I think that Bahamas is are you really U.S. because you make so much money through cruises and stuff like that, and I mean you could pretty much go to the Bahamas without a passport. So the Bahamas is very, very strange. They make a lot of money off tourism, and I guess that's something that he may know a lot about. So we'll see what happens. Bahamas is not really in the news that much, so it's really not much we know about them except for the cruise lines.
It's true, because when you think of Bahamas, you don't think like, oh, let me just say this. Why is Rick Fox doing this? Because is he lacking money, or does he care that much about the Bahamas overall? I don't know. Time will tell. But, listen, I'm comfortable in my manhood to say that Rick Fox was a good-looking guy. Still is a good-looking guy. So is that like he just... I don't know. There's always two reasons to doing everything. There's the right reason. There's a personal reason. I'm still don't know what the point of this is. So we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Last but not least, Larry, I want to talk about the NBA Cup. Where are you with the teams right now, and all of them playing to get this, prize money, all that? Like, where are you right now?
It's shaky. I saw Orlando get a good win. There's a couple of teams that surprised me that had a 4-0 record. Orlando, the Lakers, but some teams had some statement wins. San Antonio beat Denver. They had some statement wins, and they were able to do what they needed to do for Friday. I'm still not quite sure how the players feel about the NBA Cup. I think we had the Lakers win the first year, and then it was the Bucks, and actually beat OKC, so that was huge. But I mean, everyone believes unless OKC loses the cup, it's not going to be a shock to anyone. We 19-1. I mean, they're the premier team at this point.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the NBA Cup standings, and Toronto, the Magic. New York Knicks has one loss, but OKC, LA, San Antonio, they all undefeated at the top of their respective group. But out of all these four teams, Spurs, Lakers, Thunder, Knicks, Magic, Raptors, you said it, OKC should win. They're the best team, period. I mean, it's good to I'm glad to see these other teams are trying, and we'll get to the Orlando Magic, later in this episode. But I'm still up in the air about what's the point of the NBA Cup, because some teams, it's like they just changed the court. To me, it's, at first I liked the idea, but now I'm just like, this is maybe like a money scam. I don't know. You tell me, Larry. Are you for it or against it?
I'm really for the in-season tournament. I think the play-in tournament is really, really important because it doesn't make teams just try to go for lottery picks. They actually have to keep competing. I think they brought in the NBA Cup too soon for us to get used to the play-in tournament. and I feel like they're conflicting with each other. I just feel like right now, they brought in a good product, and whoever did it, probably got a great raise. But the NBA Cup, I think they should have took some more time with it. Maybe brought it out maybe a little bit later. I understand why they were doing it. They're trying to get that little time when everybody's watching football, and actually baseball and football. But it's not doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I think that the NBA Cup was a good idea because except for football, all other professional leagues, well, except for football and basketball. It's not basketball, baseball, because in hockey you got the President's Cup, which is not the same as a tournament, but at least you get a cup for having the best record. Premier League, they have in-game tournament, in-season tournaments. I like the idea. I like where it was going, but to me, it's the execution. I think they should have just said, okay, you know what? We'll have 72 games, and then we'll have these 10 games, strictly NBA Cup, because then it actually means something. Because instead of like, I feel like these are regular season games, but they NBA Cup games. To me, that's where they messed up. They should have just said, okay, if you want this in-season tournament, let's have less games so that you can actually have star players in them. That to me is where they dropped the ball on. But you're right. I think it's a good idea overall. The execution sometimes it lacks for me. Larry, who made the power rankings for this episode 29?
Well, obviously I started with OKC. They're doing amazing. And then moved into Detroit. Detroit is finally playing like I expected them 2 years ago. I actually got the Lakers in third. They're really starting to impress me. Houston's at 4. I got Denver at 5. They took a little bit of a hit against San Antonio. San Antonio's at 6. Toronto's at 7. I got the Knicks at 8. And I wasn't ready to put Atlanta in there. I'm biased. I see them more than anyone. So I just went with Cleveland and Miami.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Those are good teams. I like you. I have OKC at number 1. I have the Lakers number 2. I think Austin Reeves paired with Luka is unstoppable. I like Detroit. Houston at number 4. They kind of fell off a little bit, but they're still playing really good ball. San Antonio at number 5. I got Denver at number 6. I got Miami at number 7. Hurts me to say this. I got the Knicks at number 8. I got Atlanta at number 9. And then I have Cleveland at number 10. Right now, OKC, what can you say? What can you say about the team? And I heard that they're going to have like a lottery pick, top 3 next year or the year after. This is insane. Like, what's going on with OKC? Why do you think not only are they drafting really well, but they also have, some superstars on the team? Like, what's your opinion? Like, is this a dynasty in the making? What's your opinion on that?
OKC is what we thought the Boston Celtics were going to be. We thought that the Celtics were going to make a run, and they decided to break up the team because of money reasons, and they had injuries, and it is what it is. OKC, they're just gelling. They're young. They figured it out. We were concerned at some points during the season. Would they be able to do what they did to the regular season and replicate it in the playoffs? But they did what they needed to do. They played some tough teams towards the end, but they still seemed like they were the superior team, even though they started losing games to them. So I think I can't see OKC not winning the cup. And I think they'll have a dominant season. I'm not sure if they're going to be Chicago Bulls or Golden State. record, but that 19-1, it's starting to make me think that if they can sustain it and not get injuries, they might be able to break some records.
I mean, the Bulls have the record now, right, with 72 wins?
Golden State, 73-9.
Oh, 73-9. Wow. That's achievable, but if they don't have any injuries. But even if they have injuries, somebody else is going to step up and just do better or do same. It's incredible what's going on with OKC. All right, Larry, what's your prediction for these Boston Celtics for the month of December?
I feel like it's going to be a rough December for the Celtics. I wasn't expecting this in the beginning of the season, but I see like them losing against the Knicks, which is going to be a tough one. I mean, they're going to beat Washington. That's just going to be a no-brainer. But then I see them just having a losing streak. I see them losing against the Lakers, Toronto, Milwaukee, Detroit, Miami, Toronto again, and that's a tough run. And if you lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think that's 6 games in a row, the Boston media is going to start eating up the Celtics. Even though they can bounce back and they can win the rest of their games, which I think they will win the rest of the games. Again, they got Indiana twice, Portland and Utah. They'll win the rest of the games. They're going to end up like 5-8. But no one's going to care about the 5-8. All they're going to care about is you lost 6 games in a row.
Yeah, and they're already starting, Larry. The radio shows in Boston are like, why is this team doing so terrible? Why is this team doing so bad? What do you think is going to happen when one of the best players in the NBA is missing from your team? It's almost like laughable when you hear them, because it's like, what? You can't blame the coach. You can't blame JB. You're just missing an all-star player. What do you think is going to happen? I'm actually surprised that they got some wins last month, because I'm looking at the schedule for we're in November. We're talking about November, so they got some wins against Detroit, against Orlando. Obviously they got some wins. Did they get some wins against Philly? I'm looking at it. No, they lost against Philly, but and they lost against the Nets, which was, you should not be losing to the Nets. Let's be honest, you should not be losing to the Nets. And they lost last night. They probably, I don't know how they're gonna do against Cleveland today, but I got them going for the month. I got them going 8-5. I think that they can split against Toronto, even though that's a tough, like you say, that's a tough road games. Then they have Milwaukee on the road. I think I was encouraged by the victory against Detroit, so I gave them a W. I gave them a win against Miami just because I don't like Miami, but they're playing really well. So I can't say, that's a 50-50. It's more leaning towards Miami, but, then you talk about Indiana, which should be a layup. But then, I don't know, but Portland is playing really well. I give them a loss. I know that they're having some struggles with the coach, but even with Utah's playing pretty well. So I don't know. I'm optimistic about December, but, it could turn bad really fast.
Yes.
Larry, who's in your stock up for the month of December?
For stock up, I went with players, and for stock down, I went with teams. So for a stock up, I went with Tyrese Maxey. I'm really impressed with what he's doing with Philly. I mean, I don't even have to talk about the process. I'm just like, Tyrese Maxey, let's go. Donovan Mitchell, I think he's the only reason Cleveland is where it's at. I think they would just be a trash team right now. There's so many games that he brought them back in. I think that if they can continue to lose games, there could be a trade coming up. And then Cunningham, I'm really impressed with what he's doing with Detroit. We know he has to be the number one player on that team. He's doing it. He's able to handle it. And I had them at number 2 in the power rankings because of that.
Yeah, Detroit, all they needed was a better coach. Bickerstaff is a better coach. So my stock up, I have Jaylen Brown. I think he's killing it. He had 41 points last night against Minnesota. He's averaging something like 30 plus a game. I think he's finally, this was the month that I thought, he started kind of rocky. I don't know if this is who he is, but now I see he's unstoppable. He can do 3-pointers, mid-range. He can take it to the basket. I mean, he's just playing all skills. So I got to give it up to him. The other player, Jordan Walsh, let me just say this. He's not Josh Minott as far as getting a basket, but the dude can play defense. The dude can rebound. I'm not mad that Joe Maz has him starting because he can actually play some minutes and hustle plays. Know that he's, if Tommy was still alive, he get all the points. He get all the Tommy points. And then, as you mentioned, Tyrese Maxey, the dude his minutes are really high, but when you have a player this good, you got to keep him out on the floor. Philly, Nick Nurse, Philly has found a true star. I know that he was kind of like, maybe this was MB's team, but I think the torch finally passed. This is Tyrese Maxey's team. Larry, who is in your stock down?
My stock down is all teams that were supposed to be elite teams this year that are just kind of middle of the row. And that's Milwaukee, Chicago, and Golden State. They all started off pretty strong and they started dropping. And I think right now it's crucial. Obviously, we know Golden State's dealing with a little bit of injury. Milwaukee and Chicago, not quite sure what's going on. They definitely need to win some more games. It just, again, they're all under the Celtics right now. And the Celtics have reason to lose games,
Yeah, all these teams, especially Milwaukee. I thought Doc Rivers was, and I think we picked the over with Milwaukee, but I don't know now. I mean, you got one of the best players in the NBA, and you're still not performing as you should. You got shooters around him, and you're still not doing it. I don't know what's going on with Milwaukee. With my stock down, I'm gonna start with Sam Hauser. I know he had a good game last night, but overall, this guy is not the same player we've seen the last 2 years. He's just not. I don't know if maybe he's getting older. I don't know if he's dealing with the injuries. He's just not. And I know it has to do with the fact that JT is not out there, but when he comes in the game, I think he's a negative. He just starts missing, doesn't play the same defense he used to. I'm really down on Sam Hauser. I know that last month I put the team here, but I'm going to do it again, and that's the Orlando Magic. I know Banchero is dealing with some injuries, but man, they don't want to play defense, at least except for Isaac maybe from time to time. Jalen Suggs, yes, he's going to be definitely a defensive player, but that's it. Everyone else is just scoring at will, but not playing defense. I'm really disappointed in what's going on with Orlando. And then the other team is the Clippers. Listen, if you are the Clippers, you know that Kawhi Leonard is not going to be on your team for 10 games, 20 games, start of the season, whatever. He's injury prone, right? But why is the rest of the team so bad? I know Powell is not there to score points. But what's going on? What is going on with the Clippers? They're playing so bad. So bad.
The Clippers are cursed. They've been cursed for a while because they've been having really good teams on paper, but never had good teams in action. And Orlando, I saw Bane had a good night. I was waiting for him to actually step up and do his thing. I'm just very disappointed with Orlando. I thought they'd be on my power rankings during this episode, and they're just not there yet. So, I'm hoping that, Boston and Orlando get on my power rankings in the next couple of months and they start turning things around. But right now, no.
No. I'm very disappointed in what Orlando's doing. And disappointed at Sam Hauser. But overall, and I'm just talking about the Boston Celtics right now. Overall, when I look at this team, they don't have anybody that can rebound consistently. They have Keta, but then like Garza comes in, he's not a rebounding, maniac. Jordan Walsh can rebound, but I feel like he's playing perimeter players, so he's not able to like get the rebound and play defense at the same time. So overall, the offense is lacking, but JB, Peyton Pritchard are actually carrying the team. I'm gonna say that I'm kind of disappointed in what Derek White, because I know that he was a role player when JT was there, and then when JT got injured, you know that he's gonna have to step up and be a better, more than just a role player. But I haven't seen that from Derek White, and I love Derek White. Dude is a hustler. Dude is a baller, but man, I feel like this team could rise in the standings, but there's a lot of victories that, the team is up 10 points, 20 points, and they just dissipate. So what do you think? Do you think that this team is gonna play like this until JT comes back?
I think they are, and I think it's going to be a decision whether or not they rush JT back or they make him take the whole year off. This December is going to prove that. I mean, like I said, they lose 6 in a row, people are going to be like, "Oh, this team is trash," and we don't even. I haven't even looked at what January is going to do, but I don't know what the timeline is with JT. There's probably 2 different timelines: rush him back timeline and let him take the season off timeline. I just, JB is doing really well, but, we're losing, it was a close game. We lost to Minnesota that we could have won. And there's been a few of those. Even I think there was a game in Philly where we could have won at the last minute. So I just think, like you said, we're missing a key piece. Sam Hauser has went down. I think they need to cut his minutes. He needs to be more like they had with Peyton Pritchard, like have him come in the last couple of seconds and hit a shot. Because that's really what, we can only expect at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I'm placing a lot of expectations on this team. I just want them to, hustle. Like, don't stop hustling. That's all. And, watching the game last night, there was a lot of, dumb mistakes. People not getting back on defense when the other team was running. It looked like Anthony Edwards was a superstar in the fourth quarter. Nobody could play defense on him. It's bad. And this, other than Keta, there's no rim protection. We need JT back, to be honest. And I know that this was going to happen, but I just living through it in real time is a different feeling. All right, so next month we're gonna have episode 30, and we're probably gonna record. I'm looking at the calendar right now. It's gonna be January 4th. So Larry, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to yours and your family. Everyone out there who's the Boston Celtics fan, I want to wish them Happy New Year and a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays overall. How do you feel about this holiday season? Are you overwhelmed, or are you just taking it? How are you feeling right now?
Again, same to you. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas to your family, and same thing to the Celtics viewers. I'm not really quite sure. I got to look at the NBA games again and see what we have statted. That's when we actually make our breakout time. I know a lot of people are still, hampered with, inflation and prices being really sky high. Even at the grocery stores, which we had to all experience because of Thanksgiving. But I think we're going to be okay. And I just think that we just need to remember the Christmas spirit. Remember, this is a birthday that we're celebrating, and we should be good to go.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the calendar for for Christmas Day. Obviously, Celtics are not gonna be playing on Christmas Day, but it's a proper schedule for the NBA on Christmas Day. You got Cleveland versus New York, Spurs versus OKC. You got, I don't know why, Dallas and Golden State. That's a fail. That's a fail. But Houston, LA, Lakers, that is, and then Minnesota, Denver. So 4 out of 5 ain't bad. 4 out of 5 ain't bad. And to your point, not to get too political, but there's better days ahead. Just there's gonna be better days ahead. That's all I'm gonna say. So, with that in mind, I say peace.
Peace.
Hi guys, thank you for listening to this episode, Chasing Dino's podcast. If you have any concerns or questions, feel free to email us at simsportsmedia@gmail.com. And please subscribe to this channel, this page, whatever it is, platform that you listen. Peace.